I'm going to spend some time talking with one of your candidates for state representative. He's a longtime community activist, and he feels that our state government is broken. That fact has motivated him to run for the Florida House of Representatives. Ian, thank you for being with me this morning.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Ian, could you start by telling our viewers what qualifies you because of your background to be our state representative?
Well, for the past 5 years, I've worked as an advocate for the tourism industry as president of the Innkeepers Association and served on a couple of Visit Florida committees. So I'm in touch with what's important in terms of our economy. And I've been very involved in politics, too, at the state level as a Democratic State Committee man representing Monroe County. Before that, I worked for a United States Senator and worked for a congressman in a congressional campaign. I've just been involved in politics for a while, so I'm not going into this as a naive person, but I do have a certain amount of idealism, too.
Okay. Now, what do you think are the most important issues that are facing our state right now, Ian?
Well, there are three issues that I believe are incredibly important. We see the implications of what Tallahassee does all the time right here in the Keys. When we laid off teachers last year, when we cut different programs from our schools, extracurricular activities, when we cut electives, that type of thing. And that is directly related to the budget and how they prioritize. I think we need to invest more in education. The second thing is there's been a lot of attempts over the past few years to tear down over 3 decades of bipartisan water quality laws. This directly impacts us because we depend on the reef for our economy. Mm-hmm. And even what happens on the mainland in terms of water, I mean, that water goes out into the Gulf and then it comes down here on currents. So we need to keep those laws in place. They were signed by Republican and Democratic governors. These are not controversial laws. And then one of the things that I talk about a lot is that people seem to have this perception that Tallahassee's just not working for them, that there's way too much influence from special interest groups. And we see that influence firsthand when candidates file campaign finance reports. Just seems like there's a lot of influence peddling going on, and we've actually reached a point where some members of the legislature have gotten so lazy that they'll present legislation that's been written by a special interest group and forget to take the name of that group off of the header. So it's gotten out of control. I think that people want to know that their legislature is working for them.
Now, if you were to be elected, Ian, major goals that you'd work to get changed immediately?
Well, I mean, number one, in terms of the budget, I'd like to see us invest more in education. A lot of what I think that I would be doing is standing up for people and fighting these attempts dealing with clean water and that type of thing. I mean, because the laws that we have in place are pretty good, so we'd be fighting to stop those. In terms of cleaning up how the process works, I think we could reform our campaign finance laws and try to reduce the amount of influence that money has on the political process. I mean, one other thing when it comes to that is that there are actually members of the legislature who work as lobbyists. I mean, it's that bad. So I think that some direct steps that we could take is we could ban members of the legislature from working as lobbyists while they're in the legislature.
Okay, great. And now, Ian, you don't have a primary.
I do not have a primary.
Okay, so voters are going to have a chance to vote for you in November.
Yep.
And I guess, you know, before we have to wrap this up, just tell me again, tell our viewers again why you're the right choice for their state representative.
You know, I think that it all comes down to political values, because all of us as candidates believe different things, but why we believe those things is just as important. And I want to go to Tallahassee and fight for the people that are my friends and family and neighbors. They're just normal people who are living paycheck to paycheck, who, if they work hard and play by the rules, should be able to get ahead. Those are the people that I want to fight for. And I'm frustrated, they're frustrated, but there are a lot of opportunities to take that frustration and actually do something good with it. And that's why I'd ask people to vote for me. Okay,
great. Well, thank you for sharing all of this with us this morning. And if people want more information about you, they can check out your website at votewhitney.com. Yep. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break, but I'll be right back after these messages with the Island Shoe Girl. Stay with me.